Rival House Network.
And don't like the brags, they don't like the boast. They like hot butter on the breakfast toast. Watching flicks, talking chicks that like to motorboat. Can Riverman make it yo a check? Nope. So look at all these movies I got. Commenting like, should we watch them or not? I know they just be acting for cash, but I still got one question to ask. Like, why'd he do that, do that, do that? If that was me, I'd be like, screw that, screw that, screw that. I'm an alpha, I'd eat through that, through that, through that. So why'd he do that, do that, do that?
All right, what's up, everybody? Another episode of BTM. We got Mac in tow, as well as myself and Zach. And a long time coming, due to popular demand, we're going to repeat ourselves. Zach, tell everybody what we're doing, why we're repeating ourselves. Yeah, give the whole backstory behind it.
Basically, we originally did this commentary a long time ago. And it fucking, for whatever reason, it got fucking flagged by YouTube, and then the YouTube version got, we had to take it down. We couldn't re-upload it. It's still on YouTube, but it's basically flagged in every nation. Fucking copyright strike, whatever. So it's private. And, we just thought, we're gonna do it and fucking, we're gonna redo it and relive it, because it's a good movie anyway, and we shouldn't even worry about redoing movies. As long as we're passionate enough to talk about it more than once, we should fucking do it.
Well,
we should do
the
it.
only problem typically with that is then we start competing with ourselves in the algorithms. You know what I mean? To a degree. But this one,
because here's the thing. I was thinking about this the other day. We should really jump into that. The fucking, because I think people, they can see the true, what they like more than anything. They like fucking, genuine, the realness, and they want to see that, because they can always tell whether you when you're talking about a movie you love, they could tell the genuine, oh fuck, hell yeah, that shit, it rings true. I think we should harness that and use that as our strength.
Okay, well,
we'll build it up like big fucking Dogecoin dog over here. The big Dogecoin over here.
We'll get back to you on that.
Big dogs.
But it's not readily available. So, and mix that with the fact that we're now going full video. It's like almost a new presentation anyway of the movie. And it's one of my favorite movies. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Zach, just so everybody knows, if you guys want to follow us along, if you support us on Patreon, you can join in on these chats live. And Zach always streams the flick within the private Discord server. We have a public Discord server for everybody else, so you guys can join that as well. But regardless, I don't know where you can find the movie other than that. If you don't own the movie, I don't know why you're listening to this.
This is from my DVD. It doesn't have any opening logo. It's a black screen, and then it fades out into the shot of New York.
All right. And before I tell him to push play, though, I got to remind everybody, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, take a second. Feed the algorithm gods, like the video, subscribe to us if you haven't already, leave a comment. All that shit's going to help us out. Likewise, podcast services, leave us a review. All right, so we're ready to go?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, hell yeah. And we see the black screen, and it's fading in now, baby. We are seeing, look at that. Look at the two twin towers. Oh, never forget.
This fucking intro is genius.
This is amazing.
Music, everything's perfect.
Oh yeah, it's
fucking great.
It does a great job at setting up the scene.
It makes you think of New York too. I don't know why. It's like, that's New York music.
Nice touch on the captions. I'm gonna turn it down.
Is it like, if this was fucking, what's it called? If this was you couldn't tell the difference between if it's the fucking TCM 90s movie opening or a fucking 70s fucking grindhouse picture taking place on the streets of fucking 42nd Street. Very Chad.
It looks like a cleaned up fucking Death Wish movie.
That's how you fucking know that the directors, the fucking cinematographers, all the creators of this movie were in it. They fucking knew they wanted that grittiness.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. I like it. Hey, look, it is the true Sid.
Fucking Sid, give me your wallet.
But this was
their fucking suits and shit were so fucking amazing. Like,
his suit though looked like the Shredder suit.
Exactly.
Did Shredder just go out in broad daylight and grab it like that? Was that Shredder? Imagine seeing Shredder walking around in broad daylight. It looked like somebody cosplaying.
Give me your
back
wallet.
In the 80s.
But yeah, this was a huge thing too back in the day. Fucking people robbing.
Fucking robbing.
Graffiti.
They're fucking.
was
They're
popular.
Robin Hood. See, that's the thing. We're watching the movie all wrong. The fucking the Ninja Turtles are fucking assholes because all these kids are fucking. They're very impoverished and they're stealing from the rich and giving to the poor themselves. So fucking like the fucking TCM, they come in or TCM fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's fucking no.
Was I
TMNT.
muted? Was I muted?
I think
You
so.
stopped
You were
talking for a long time.
What the
was
fuck?
it?
Okay, all right. So hold up. I thought I was about ready to rip you a new asshole because I was gonna say, Zach, is this what you meant before the show? Like, hey, is it okay if I go full Mac and Zach in this episode? Because I kept getting cut off every time I tripped. And no, what I did was your audio. No,
boomer.
hold on. Your audio was way too fucking loud in the video on Discord, so I put mute, and I didn't mean. I muted myself on accident. That's what I did.
Oh, you know what he did? Did you mute the yard stream? The stream yard? The yard stream?
No, I muted Discord, but I muted my mic on accident.
Oh.
Because I have it minimized and I wasn't paying attention. Well, shit. I guess I didn't really say anything because I felt I thought I was getting interrupted, so I didn't get anything out anyway. But
This kind of looks like a fucking Double Dragon movie, too.
Double
no,
Dragon.
you guys were saying it looks all gritty and shit, but it is post Giuliani cleanup, so none of that real true sleazy 42nd Street and all that
What
stuff
a
really
fucking
exists.
cuck. Giuliani's such a cuck. Looking like fucking Nosferatu over here, bitch. Those fucking crooked ass teeth. Fuck him.
Okay.
Ruining a fucking great place in cinema history. Fucking just film history. Fucking world history. Big beta cuck.
We gotta give props to the score of this movie. It really makes it seem like a creepier movie than it is. As far as, it looks like it could be an R-rated movie if you were just looking at stills or whatever. But no, it's a
Right.
PG-13. It's a PG movie. It's PG, yeah, not even PG-13.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they didn't
I
even
think
try.
you're wrong. This is PG-13, baby. No way.
It's
PG.
it's PG. Swear to God, it's PG.
Fuck you, Aaron. Fuck you.
It's PG, and PG-13 existed at this point, which is weird.
This is me right now. This is me. Fucking. I am this character right here. I'm pulling a knife out and fucking put it in your face.
Bad timing.
I'm like fucking. Don't say that again, Aaron. Don't say it again. And you're continuing to.
I mean, it is pretty dark for like a kid's movie too. Like you got fucking like them pulling out blades and shit, fucking punching women, slapping women, saying the fucking some cuss words and shit.
Well, I'm saying
You
I
never
don't.
slap a woman in this movie.
Yes,
you
they do.
fucking caveman.
Yeah. Hold
they
on,
do.
Miss O'Neill. Like your mouth. Shut it.
Oh, I thought you meant the fucking I thought you meant the turtles. I was like fucking the.
No,
Why would they make
dude.
the hero slap a
I'm
woman?
saying like it's a dark fucking for kids.
Anyway,
Perfect though. I feel like it's the perfect comedy, perfect fucking.
It's really not. It's kind of way too dark for kids, but that's what's so great about it.
no.
That's
What
I'm
I feel.
saying. I think it's better this way.
Look, it blows me away that they had trouble getting this financed because this was at the heart and the height of the popularity of the cartoon and the action figures and all that stuff. But with the exception of Batman, which just came out the year before, the concept of a comic book, but not just a comic book. I think most people saw Turtles as a cartoon. I don't think it was quite mainstream that it was a comic book back then. They're like, yeah, we're not going to translate a cartoon to a live action movie. Nobody wanted to invest in it. Today, that would be a different story. But Golden Harvest, they forked over. I don't remember what the budget was. If it was $1 million,
Limelight Production.
it was really, really small though. But maybe that was part of it. Maybe it's like, hey, look, you got to keep it PG because PG-13 was around at the time. But this is like, when you see those PG-13 movies that really push that PG-13, they get that one fuck bomb in and they just ride it. Like we want to make it as hard as possible. This reminds me of somebody that had to keep something PG and they pushed it as hard as they could. It's got a few cuss words and it's dark because it could be PG-13.
That opening is just Big Cum personified in the fucking film.
I think I got my first erection when I was a kid and I saw it 4 years old.
I came for the
I don't
first
think
time
I've
watching this
ever
movie.
been so excited to see the Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
in this fucking intro.
The lighting in this movie is brilliant because it makes the costumes look fantastic. And just whatever spray bottle they were using to keep them all moist and sweaty looking.
The steam.
It's so great.
Yeah, they always look, especially Raphael. He always looks like he's fucking sweating bricks.
Yeah, but it looks great. The movie's extremely dark, and that's the way you'd imagine it would be in a sewer. A sewer's not going to be all brightly lit, but it makes the effects look so cool. And obviously, if you were to make an argument that there were any parts of the movie where the effects and the costumes look bad, it is in the daytime scenes, right? Where you see the mouth within a mouth and all that shit.
Stop
No.
with this heresy. These aren't costumes. These are real fucking turtles. They're life size.
Yeah, stop pretending, dude.
I love it, but I'm saying if you're gonna make any arguments for like, oh my god, that looks fake, or I can tell, it's in the daylight scenes. But up until that point, this looks fantastic.
fucking amazing. I'm gonna turn the audio up a little bit.
So what's the deal? I wonder why they didn't. Did they want to change the costumes in every movie just to cater to a more childlike market? Like, hey, we need to make, because I feel like they could have kept these turtles.
I think they said there was something going on with like the suits. Like
Deteriorating or whatever.
Like
but you think
they sucked to begin with. Like they were hard to like act in.
I just don't know why they felt they had to change the designs, though. I mean, they didn't change
Make
them.
it more fitting for kids, like more.
Here's a fun fact about this movie with me is this wasn't like Aaron. He told me like I did this commentary with the GOAT for a movie Graveyard,
and I'm like, why the fuck did you guys not call me, man? It's like my fucking favorite movie
and
ever.
Aaron told me, he was like, that's like my favorite movie, and I was like, really? I didn't even realize that this was never a favorite of mine. But like I always liked it and liked the Turtles. I probably had more of a nostalgic attachment to the second one as a kid. But then like, yeah, now I think like, yeah, the first one's definitely better than the second one. But like, yeah, it was just, yeah, so it was bigger for you guys than it was me.
I mean,
it's still Chad.
Well, it kind of gets too dark towards like, kind of like close to the half part where they're all in the fucking country. Like that part kind of bores me. But I still love it. Like, I don't know. I get to, like, just watching it over and over again. That's why I like the second one a little bit more. Because
I wouldn't say...
You like the second one more?
Yeah, I like the second one more.
Oh, more?
I wouldn't say that stuff in the country is boring, but it is a point where it's just like, I always forget it's there.
Right.
And like, when they're going through it, it's kind of like... oh yeah, but it never really bores me. It's just like the always
it's just weird. I don't know. It's just little.
Look, it's a necessary break from what's going on in the central part of the movie, man, because the Turtles themselves as a unit are fractured and they got to come together and they got to go out there and have all that stuff go on and Raph and Leo make up and stuff. And then you have that scene around the fire, where Mikey's crying and shit.
Yeah. It's really dark.
It's not it's important. It's important to the plot.
It literally, though, it is like right after that collection of scenes, the Men in Black just come in and deneuralize me, and then I forget it even happened. And then like fucking before it's even over, I forgot it happened, and then I forget it happened before I see it again.
No, I think
the fact that we're talking about it now is really blowing my fucking mind.
And
is this a dream?
And I think it goes by a lot faster than you probably remember. It's not that long.
It does. Yeah.
And I got to say, too, like this scene, this is the brilliance of this movie, is the subtlety. They use Jim Henson creature effects and they took a children's property, but they actually made a really deep movie when you really think about it. So this whole scene, and I don't think I brought this up last time we did it, so obviously it's good we're doing it again because there's lots of stuff I always forget about talking about. But look at Mikey's character. Mikey is seen on the exterior as the fun, loving, easygoing, like he doesn't care. He's just kind of along for the ride. But when he said right there, you could tell he's got a lot of shit going on internally. Like all of this shit that goes on throughout the movie with Splinter being gone, it's driving him more crazy than anybody maybe. He just projects his emotions differently. So right there, we missed it, but he's out there hanging out waiting for the pizza. Donatello rolls up. And he's trying to keep it serious. Like, so what do you think about all that stuff with Splinter, not having him? And then Mikey ignores him. Like, pizza dude, $3 off. That's him, like, deflecting. Like, his way of grieving and all that shit is ignoring it and not facing it head on. And that's all going to come back later when you see him at the fire and shit. And he's the only one that's fucking bawling, right? And then during the whole farm scene, too, there's that famous scene where you have Raphael on top of the rooftop going, Splinter! That's really Michelangelo. And in post, for some reason, they put fucking Raphael's voice over him. That was supposed to be Michelangelo's breaking point, right? And you could see it. You could tell it's him on the roof if you look closely when it comes up. But Raph's voice.
Oh, yeah.
That's the sound my cum makes, by the way, when it ejects.
Oh yes, fucking that's the sound my cum makes.
Is that what? Does it look like that too when it's dripping from your lip, dude? When it stretches.
Look, Critters. He watched Critters.
Yeah, we get some fucking classic cult.
Where do they come up with this stuff?
Where do they come up with this stuff?
Fucking Chad. Did you ever notice their skin looks like a basketball, like the little like circles on it? Like
I get it. Yeah. Hey.
Like whenever it's really close up on their pores. That's their pores, I think. I think they need to moisturize more. They're just really swollen.
You know what's great about this movie too? That the second one to me, it's a little bit of a rehash, and they don't do it as hard, and it's just not as good. This one, like any movies, I think movies are great when they're about something deeper than what is being presented on its surface. And this movie's about family, man. You have the fractured relationship between, the butting heads of Raphael, the defiant one with Leonardo, the hoity-toity, I feel like I have a responsibility to lead this team. And you got, like I already mentioned, the Michelangelo type of situation. And then the thought of the theme of loss, it's pretty hardcore. You don't get that in the second one. I mean, yeah, Raph's still an asshole and they still kind of butt heads a little bit, but it's more in jest. It's just, but like I said, those are themes that are a little too deep for kids, and I think they wanted to deal away with that as the series went on. And then by the time you get to the third one, it's just, what are you expecting the Addams Family? None of it's like of substance at all. Like, what the fuck's going on here? What 'em?
The third one. That third one is an amazing film. It's an amazing film.
I don't want to fight you. Tough Rocks, pal. Look at that. Casey Jones is an instigator, man.
A Jose Canseco bat? Tell me.
I was trying to start a big autistic meltdown by saying the third movie's a great film, and you guys didn't even notice.
Oh, it's fucking horrible.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Now, so what's funny?
Punker.
Elias Cody as Casey Jones is brilliant. I kind of
what kind of punker did Casey Jones think fucking Raphael was fucking like? What bands do you think he was like? Fucking, are you a punker? Like you listen to like the Dead Kennedys, the Bad Brains? Like,
is that what he was referring to?
I
thought that was his weird name for an alien or something.
What?
Some sort of punker. Yeah, I don't know. Because he clearly doesn't look... He looks like... I don't know. What does he expect he is? Does that look like a punk rocker to you?
Hell yeah, he's fucking bald. He's got the fucking... the main... The
cricket!
That's the whole uniform, usually.
I do kind of wonder why he's actually even confronting Raphael and attacking him. Because Casey Jones is a vigilante. He wipes the streets of crime. Those guys took the old lady's purse. Okay, I get it. And... Oh, you're right. Because Raphael interrupted him, and they got away. They didn't get away though. I don't know.
Freak.
He's just doing the same thing Casey Jones was trying to do. I don't understand why he's trying to beat the shit out of him. Basically,
one day you can bet I'm a freak.
And obviously that's Raphael in the car right there.
Yeah.
What the heck was that?
And the guy in the back is who?
That's Raphael.
Somebody else.
The guy in the back's
Yeah,
Raphael,
right.
Not the fat driver.
The fat driver should have been Raphael.
Damn.
He would have had a better fucking character if he was just a real life fucking New Yorker, just not even an actor. Baby.
And Mac just recently found out that what's it called? Ho Sung Pak played. Gosh, was it Donatello or Leonardo? He played one of the turtles, right? Who was. These are Mortal Kombat actors from the original Mortal Kombat game. Played Liu Kang and Shang Tsung in MK1. Richard DeVizio, who played Kano, and then also the Johnny Cage guy. Why can't I think of his name? What's his fucking name?
Pena or whatever?
No. God, what is his name, man? Carlos Pacina, Daniel Pacina. They played foot soldiers. Right. A couple of foot. And that's where they met. So they all were friends and shit growing up and doing all in this stunt circuit and the local. They must have done casting in Chicago. I mean, I don't even know. Was this part of this filmed in Chicago? Because they're all Chicago natives. But they all knew each other prior to Mortal Kombat coming around. Like they were like approached or something like casting in the Chicago area. And they kind of all just, it was so grassroots back then. Like maybe Daniel Pacina got hired and it's like, or maybe it was actually Carlos Pacina, right? Because Carlos Pacina played, I think he actually worked with Midway at the time.
It was Carlos Mencia.
Carlos Pacina worked with Midway at the time, and it's just one of those things where, hey, I got a brother, he's martial arts, whatever. Okay, call him up. He's got a job. Hey, I got this buddy, and that's just how it was.
You don't think that they just went to like the karate dojos?
Look at his weird little hand here. Oh.
Yeah, I know. I always say like he's got a weird little bulbous finger that would. It's like
it kind of looked like the hand. It's the fingers were like limp, so he had to like completely lift it up and then kind of smack it on his head.
Yeah.
Very Chad.
They hid their limitations with him pretty well in this movie. Unlike the third movie where they just kind of keep him above the chest only and behind a fucking like barn door, which is the weirdest thing in the world, the whole flick. It's really off-putting.
I noticed, but I didn't want to talk over you guys. Like fucking the chest plates on the turtles, like they got them fucking abs, baby. They fucking decked. They ripped. I like to refer to those as cum gutters. They got fucking very defined cum gutters on them.
Okay, all right.
That's so funny because real turtles have that. Like fucking, what was that? Are fucking turtles just working out a lot? Fucking, why do they got the cum gutters?
I mean,
That's weird.
I mean, they're not skin, so they're just part of the shell, man. They're part of the exoskeleton.
It's fucking Mother Nature's universal language of telling us that cum is like the fucking all the creation of everything.
Look at this little shit.
Strive for.
This little shit, he ain't got a mother. He feels like he's being neglected at home, man. So he has no influence in his life. So like all kids without a positive influence in their life, they look for an influence on the streets, man. And a bad influence caught up to him. The Shredder's gang. What do you guys think about the angle of trying to keep grounded, obviously for budget reasons? I mean, had they gotten the $100 million, maybe they would have tried to get wacky with it. But what do you guys think about them making Shredder who he is? This organizational underground crime guy recruiting kids.
That's what I know him as. Fucking.
It makes sense.
It's really cool.
Fucking just join us.
What doesn't make sense
get whatever you want.
What doesn't make sense is if this is his racket now, like fucking selling bootleg CDs on the streets and stealing fucking TVs off trucks, why does he still dress like a weird samurai?
It's funny too because like when they go to the second one, they all have training now, like to be a foot soldier. But this one, it's like they just took anyone because half of those fucking kids, they were just street fighters. They weren't like trained, you know.
And
the shot is iconic.
And you can't even make the excuse of it is find her, silence her.
It is, but it's like it is in my mind. But it's like it was always a shot that stuck out as like that's weird looking. Like even as a kid, I was like,
dude. This movie, I think, is visually striking. All the shots in it are really, really fucking cool. And just like you said, that scene right there, it was striking with all the monitors. And Shredder, his reveal is slow, right? We're keeping him in the shadows and stuff and over the shoulder. It's pretty classic. And you don't get to
Was that like, did they use CG or something to show that knife in the stream or something? Something seems weird about it.
No, it always looks organic to me, but I mean, maybe it wasn't so easy to do.
Super transparent. Like, I don't think you'd see that whole blade go through there, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would go through, you wouldn't see the other part.
It'd probably be hard to practically do that, too. You'd have to worry about how far you're sticking in the TV.
It would bounce right off.
Maybe there's, like, some magnets involved or something. I don't think it was CG. They didn't have any budget.
He tried to tell me I
do my job. On, I think that's Raphael right there. No, that's Michelangelo, I believe. I think he's Michelangelo. A New Record. I might be getting that, yeah.
You can always tell which one of the guys play the turtles because they just look like they have fucking big concrete cocks. All these motherfuckers.
Well, and they're always just kind of injected with like a throwaway line. Like, a new record.
Chads.
All right, and this scene's brilliant too. I fucking love this.
This is dark as fuck.
Yeah, the only thing I wish was different about this scene is I wish it went on longer. I wish there was more foot and Raph was kicking more ass.
Right, like on the train, like they get on the train.
Yeah, like right now, here in a second, yeah. It's just because it's so fucking climactic when you see his little his finger come out and scrape the side back, and then his reveal, and he starts kicking their ass, but it's over in like three kicks.
Yeah, but then it shows them later, and they are actually following him.
One of them does.
So, but still, see, I feel like I think they probably cut it out. Like they probably did have it to where like he was fighting them.
Look, once again, iconic shot. Like I would love a print of this shot of him scraping that side coming up. It's so cool. Watch.
Aaron, when you first saw this as a kid, how did you feel about like the fact that they added the Locust to play the Foot Clan here, the band The Locust?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wasn't aware of them at the time.
Have you ever checked that band out?
Nope.
I want to know what you think of them. I want you to listen to their album Plague Soundscapes at least once through. It's like 40 minutes at the longest, and I want to get your fucking opinion. Like you could give it to us on the next episode.
10 seconds
It'd be
long.
Amazing. The whole album is like very short.
Why do they feel the need to have 6 people give April the message? Isn't that a bit much? Isn't that a bit like
they were supposed to kill her? They said silence her, so they were going to gangbang her.
That's how many people are in the Locust.
Yeah, I guess they're right. They
had to take. They had to take the whole deal.
If
they had happened to ask Slipknot, there'd have been fucking 9 of them.
No, you're right. No, maybe they had more devious fucking things in mind. I'm like, why is there 6? Yeah, they might have wanted to like fucking stuff her. I don't know. Allude me, okay?
These are the.
I don't know.
these street gangs usually are fucking pretty hardcore. They will
News report.
They will do
What do you
the
think?
very bad things to fucking Stacy's walking home at night, fucking go home from work in a banana raincoat.
You know, I'd like to hear Chucky as Raphael or Brad Dourif.
I kind of want to see the prequel movie when they're
same thing.
when they're patrolling the streets at night looking for couches and furniture people have left on the curbside for trash to pick up and then taking it back in the sewer somehow. Like, how do they get a couch down there? You know what I mean?
That shot where he places his hand upon her
They make the
brow,
sets, bro.
where he places his hand upon her brow. I always just want him to
Looks like an ET hand.
creep down and then like rub his thumb on her butt chin. Very sexy.
He's like, what the fuck are we yelling about?
Just rub that little dimple, make it calm. I'm gonna rub that fucking chin dimple till it calms, baby.
Black pajamas.
You're gonna fucking bend over and it's gonna be like a fucking baked potato staring at me, that chin. Gonna rub it.
It's so hard. It is kind of like the Halloween to Halloween Rob Zombie is kind of like this to the new TMNT movies. Fucking atrocious.
It's not like that at all. It's
They're
not like
fucking
that at all.
horrible.
I hope you're gonna level.
Nobody talks about crawling over and skull fucking the shit out of fucking Megan Fox in that fucking movie.
I hope you level this shit out afterwards because I feel like you're always so booming, and then Mac's real quiet. I don't know how I sound. Mac's pretty quiet,
Booming.
and then like Zach's always just fucking booming over everybody.
Well, you gotta right click my box and turn my volume
Yeah,
down.
dude, it's the Discord. You gotta turn them down. It's just
Fucking
your fucking
boomer.
Discord, man. Everyone sounds
So why are
the
you
same
so?
to me.
I haven't turned anybody down.
You're literally like an old man listening to Metallica on full blast. Like, why is he so loud? Fucking boomer over here.
Well, I didn't turn down Mac, and he's quiet, but whatever. So this is a great injection of backstory. I think it's a great classic scene again,
This is-
radical,
Great CGI.
and it's
They almost. This is almost like it's
it's
stylized.
not CGI.
It seems like this whole section is stylized to basically be like a completely absurd thing, like kind of for the adults. Like, oh yeah, we know this idea is goofy, but like it almost seems like this one scene is stylized in a way where it's like it's clearly even more so that they're puppets. It's like they wanted to kind of go a little meta here. Am I the only one that ever got that?
No, it
idea?
just breaks it up. It's not as dark anymore. Like, this is really silly. You know, pizza, radical, and the turtles are cute, right? Like you said, you look like puppets. I don't know. I like how grainy the flashback scene in particular. This looks like a fucking Japanese movie circa anytime up to the year 2000. You know, they always look like really shitty and grainy.
You could tell that they shot the puppets in front of a blue screen and then had to like go down to the sewer and shoot the backgrounds too, because it's both grainy and shot on film. Very Chad.
I remember watching that little document on Netflix where it's about toys, and I think it had one with the TMNT in it, and it was they were talking about when they were making the movie that I think they thought that it wasn't going to do too great, and they were in the middle of releasing the toys as well, and they thought it was going to bomb, but then they couldn't even keep the fucking toys on the shelf.
Yeah. Well, did you watch? You should watch the Turtles documentary. There's a legit.
I think that's what it was. I think that's what I watched.
Well, there's a Netflix toy series that's like the
Yeah.
toys that made us. They have like they talk about Power Rangers on one episode. There'll be Turtles,
Right.
but there's an actual Turtles documentary that came out a year or two ago, and I don't know if it's streaming for free, but I mean you can rent it or buy
It's
it on
pretty good.
stuff like Amazon. And it's pretty good.
I think that's the one where they were talking about how Kevin came back, but was it Peter? He did not.
Kevin
Like,
Eastman.
they didn't. Yeah, they didn't agree or some shit, or like
Peter Laird and
gave
Kevin Eastman
He
and
gave
stuff
his
like that.
parts to Kevin, and Kevin just kept going, and that's when they fucking made the fourth movie or the CGI one. or whatever
They
the
go
fuck it is.
through. I don't know if they go that far, but it's good. It tells a pretty good picture of the whole thing, and they talk
It's kind
about.
of sad.
But it's a pretty good story, though. It talks about how fast it came together. You know, these guys, one of them is older than the other. One of them's the writer, one of them's the artist. And they just said, hey, let's do a comic book together. And they just did a small print run themselves that they financed themselves. And they just started selling it locally. And it was really weird. It was lightning in a bottle in right place, right time.
Did you ever notice fucking Donatello drinking the straw right there as it pulls out of her going, ah, ha, ha, ha. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, it's weird.
He still got it in his mouth.
people, it's totally understandable why so many people and kids back then didn't know this was a comic book, because the comic book really didn't exist much longer than the toys of the show. Because I'm telling you, they came out with one issue. They did it themselves. They did it DIY style, and they got it put in to like one local comic store. One local comic store sold out of it. Then they started selling a more like regional, but it was just these two guys. They were doing everything by hand. And there was just one guy that worked with the Playmates or whatever. I don't know, maybe he didn't actually work with a company. One guy just had a vision. He's like, hey guys, sell me the rights. We can market this. We can make toys. And so this guy was probably super crazy. I mean, they probably owe all their success to him, for fuck's sake. And they did. And the toys came first. The toys came before the TV show, I think. They sold it to like Playmates, or, you know, they met with everybody and everybody was turning them down. Playmates took a chance. I think they're Japanese. Then I think, if I'm not getting it wrong, I think the contingency to that was, hey, let's make a cartoon too, and let's tie it all together. So it kind of all happened at the same time. So,
oh, see that where fucking Donatello just starts smiling.
yeah, he's got a big weird grin. That's like a malfunction or something. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
Somebody on set was passing out like their fucking sandwiches, and the fucking animatronics for the face was just like, hell yeah. Fucking forgot they were filming.
I never noticed it. Here's another iconic shot, man. Like, this is another thing that could be a still.
Oh yeah, this is where it all fucking goes.
That's where he autistic Screech is. See, I'm proud to have fucking my boy in the autistic community. Bill Cosby.
So I was wrong.
No.
Michelangelo was the pizza guy at the beginning, right? Where the heck is 22 and an 8? That's Michelangelo. Yeah. Raphael was the cab guy. So maybe the guy at the police station was Leo.
That Bill Cosby joke was the only thing I remember from our other commentary.
I don't remember it. What was it?
I just did the exact same thing. Bill Cosby. I've been trying. Fucking. It's always hard when you're on the spot, but I have been working on a Bill Cosby impression that I feel like fucking. I was kind of getting it. It's like, I'm going to go get some food for you. Like, sometimes it's working, and I'm thinking like, it's working. Fucking, I need to hone it though.
You got to also make it sexual in nature. Like, make it part of a joke. Like, why is he going to get some food? Why would he be going to get some date rape drugs or something?
That's his food. Fucking, he eats them like candy. He tells them it's about M&Ms, baby. Like, fucking, eat you on them. Fucking, they melt in your mouth, not in your hand. I'm gonna melt in your ass.
You got a son named Danny Charles.
Look at this Chad. Fucking Danny's dad is such a fucking stud. Look at a big concrete cock on this guy.
Probably takes loads on his bald head.
He comes out and fucking like he basically, you're always the cuck to him. He comes out and fucking gives your girl a good dicking, and then like fucking just leaves her satisfied, and you're fucking crying in the corner. Very Chad.
You know, it's fun.
He's wearing the same Sid shirt he was wearing the other day.
Yeah, no, that's true to being a kid, man. You can't tell me when you were in high school you didn't have those phases where you would just wear the same fucking shirts all the time.
We all did it. And when people, like we'd always do that thing where we had the shirt on and then we'd skip a day, we wear a different shirt and then put it on the next day. It's like, nobody's gonna call me out for wearing the same shirt. Or and then somebody did anyway, and you were like, no, I wore it the day before. Fuck.
Yeah.
Why the hell is her boss just walking through her house like he owns the fucking place?
Yeah, I know. I'd kick him in the nuts.
It's kind of weird.
And you know
he's making sure there's no fucking other guy trying to mac on his pussy.
Yeah, he's like, clear the house out.
The story and the plot is simple enough, but I think as a kid, I think I saw this when I was 4. I didn't get this. I don't think it quite computed. Like, you got a son named Danny Charles. I didn't get that he was coming here to just wipe the story clean because, you know, they had shit on his kid. You know what I mean? I didn't get all that stuff.
I don't think I ever did. I think I was today years old when I found out that happened. Aaron,
you didn't get that? He got a call from the chief of police. They were breathing down his neck. He wants the news to get off his fucking back with those crimes, and they know Danny has a rap, and they're like, "Hey, unless you want us to bust your fucking son, make this story disappear." That's why he's there. Like, you know, end it.
This is what we do. Look at that kid smoking a cigar,
puffing on a ciggy.
Dude, when
you're a kid, you're like, man, I want to be a foot soldier.
No. When I was a little kid, I used to look at that chick blowing the bubble gum. I'm like, man, I want to fuck her mouth with my little 7-year-old dick.
What?
There was a chick
I never
blowing
even
bubble
thought
gum?
of that. That was
I did.
never a bitch lot.
But I used to want to play. I used to want to play Narc though. I'm like, where is this Narc game?
I don't remember ever noticing a chick in this entire fucking
Right.
facility.
That's what I'm saying.
It's when the scene first comes up, dude. She's walking right in front of the camera and she
Hey,
blows her
Ron,
bubble.
admit it. You love men. Don't fucking lie to us.
You didn't just see the chick that they were right
right
on.
here, he's like, "Ooh, yeah,
Hey, is that Sum
these guys
41?
are pretty hot. These guys are
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
hot."
Look how young that kid is on the right.
Yeah.
Why is Sam Rockwell luring like 8-year-olds into like a basement?
Don't you just want to nut all over Sam Rockwell's face?
He's a great actor. He's one of those guys that I mean, I'd consider it.
He's a great actor.
He needs a reward for even making. Is that Johnny from fucking Karate Kid?
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, look at that guy. Go play, suck my dick.
Go.
I mean, is it not weird that there's like one adult that's
suck-
hanging around with all these like
suck it.
little kids? It's just very odd.
He's the babysitter, man. This is the babysitter movie. So here's
just
where they
fucking-
train, apparently.
Is this what normal like teenagers would like to do? Like, let's just get together with my friends and we'll do like swinging kicks and fucking like we'll do martial arts, dude. It'll
It's
be
not
really
even
cool.
martial arts. It's like boxing, and then he fucking comes in and kicks his ass. There was no teaching here. None at all.
That kid
bow.
that kid clearly looks like 18 years old.
So what he
Yeah.
was doing wrong here was he wasn't screaming while punching.
No, they're teaching him to fucking fight. They're teaching him to strike first, strike hard, Cobra Kai, no mercy.
Exactly.
You know, they're teaching him to play dirty, like never lower your eyes to an enemy.
choke you. Open your mouth.
It's kind of a shame this actor wants nothing to do with any of this shit because, you know, NECA's tried to reach out to him many times to get permission to use his likeness, make a few.
That guy?
Yeah, because he's the only
Why?
he's the only one missing because they've got everybody else now. They finally
Fuck
they got
him.
Elias Codius, Tatsu's awesome, man. They even put him in Hyperstone Heist for crying out loud. But
I thought you meant the guy that was on his back.
yes,
The guy
yes,
that-
Master
Yeah,
Tatsu.
him.
No, not that guy.
Some random ass fuck.
But no, but
That guy. That same guy.
They've said they keep reaching out. They've reached out to the actor that played Tatsu a couple times to kind of get the rights and see if he wants to make a few bucks. And he doesn't even reply. He probably doesn't have a fucking phone. He probably lives on some island in Japan.
When I was
Trash
a kid,
bag. It's like
I
a
always
trash
thought
bag.
during this hall scene when he was walking that his fucking suit was that long.
Yeah, the shadow. It's a good.
I always
it-
thought it was his fucking. I was like, damn, that's a fucking. That's.
but
a,
it's a really cool optical illusion though, because I think it really adds to how grandiose the entrance is and everything else. I thought his fucking cape looked like a trash bag. I thought it was literally made of a hefty bag.
I always thought
fucking
that.
couple hefties all stitched up.
I made the joke that it looked like he could take his helmet off and try to stab somebody with it, like fucking Happy Gilmore over here.
I'm sure you didn't make that joke back then.
Fucking, I did make that joke.
You know, it's funny because you don't really believe in part 2 how orderly they've become. Like you said, they're doing all this like this training, and it looks very clean, very organized. But it takes place right after this one, right? Because it's supposed to take place seconds after the first one. Like they're coming home, the turtles are coming home, all fucking excited and happy, and then you got fucking Tatsu going to the clan, which they have a different hideout now. I don't know where the fuck they're going. Like, I'm taking over now because Shredder's dead.
Tatsu the Iron Man. That's the new Iron Man movie. Fucking, you get Tatsu, you find him on whatever island he's on. Fucking make a new Iron Man movie where fucking Splinter is like fucking sticking to his skin. And like fucking they're walking around. He's just trying to get Squinter off of him. Squinter, I called him.
Yeah, good.
Squinter.
Money cannot buy.
Wait, is this an Asian guy playing fucking our boy Shredder?
Yeah.
'Cause that could come off as me fucking making a racist joke, and that is not what just happened.
Yeah.
Fucking, I am
Yeah,
not
you
that
didn't know
fucking
that?
low T. I am not that low T.
Look, they went deep with this movie and they got accurate. It's a different guy in the second movie, but they still got a Japanese guy.
Chad.
Actually, in the second movie, did they actually get like a Latino guy? I want to make sure.
They did get a white guy in the new one.
It's pretty dark the way he's tied up too, like with the chains and shit. He's all sweaty.
I remember people were
Sweaty
angry
rat.
about the white guy Shredder in the new one. Yeah,
sweaty
Well, yeah, because they had Brian T doing the bait and switch Shredder, right?
low T.
They had Low T playing the bait and switch Asian Shredder, but it was really the white guy.
Exactly.
Isn't that just like Hollywood?
You sweaty rat. Shut it.
Who the fuck?
Who the fuck said that? Oh, beat your ass.
It's a good thing Shredder was like normalizing masking up way back in this movie.
Yeah.
The fuck shirt is he wearing anyway?
Okay.
What band is that on his shirt?
Fuck. I think I'll have to see it again. No, the guy who plays Shredder in the second movie, yeah, he's Asian. I just think he's a French Asian or something. His name's.
I thought you were gonna say. I just think he's a freak. Like he likes to fuck. He gets into the foot. He's got a foot fetish. He's into fucking bestiality. He's into all that shit. Fucking like he'll fuck your fucking toe.
He buys pics for $50. Toe pics.
He'll fuck your toe fungus and shit. He'll put his dick in between your big toe and the toe next to it and rub that fucking athlete's foot all over that shit. He gets off on it.
Chief Chad. What do you think of that name?
Chief Chad.
Chief
Okay.
Chad.
Colonel Chad.
This just in, Chief
Corporal Chad.
Colonel. It's me.
Cheap chillers.
Chad.
Yeah, so that didn't ring any to me. Like the whole Pennington, I thought we had a deal. I'm like, what? Did they have like, I don't know.
Fucking,
Some citizens.
He was gonna basically basically that guy lied to him and said he was married to April, so he was like, oh, can you cuck me out, fucking like watch me fuck her and like fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Like they had some weird like sexual arrangement going on.
Exactly.
I think he's actually turning red.
He's actually blushing. I am not.
See, he's all embarrassed. I would fucking put the dick in April if I was a fucking mutated turtle.
Well, that's the only thing missing from this movie. Wouldn't it be weird if you had like two turtles having sex? How like like how would these turtles have sex? They do, but like, can you imagine the mutant turtles doing it?
Fucking, you
They'd
could
be
then
like,
let
wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked load.
You could then let one of your brothers fuck the throat, the hole that opens up when you're getting your orgasm.
Oh, the mouth within the mouth.
Yeah, you'd get double the
Exactly.
mouth.
You want to fuck?
That's communism.
Double the
That's
money, double the
communism.
mouth.
You want to fuck him so deep he gets into that inner throat?
Everybody gets the fucking commies rocked. That's communism for you.
You know, and everybody makes a big deal about how, you know, the mouths flap and shit and the words don't match. That never really hit me as a kid. I think it looks great. Look at this. Look. We don't need you. But it doesn't. I don't.
It looks
Pork
like-
rind.
Looks like his mouth is spasming out a bit. Well, go ahead.
But I don't think.
We don't need you. It's cute though.
Hey,
I like it.
Mikey.
It doesn't look bad to me. I mean, like, I don't know how else. If they were real and those giant ass fucking lips and those huge jaws, like how articulate would they be? You know, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't
How
sound
high-
that
hey.
crisp.
How blitzed do you have to be be listening to the radio and looking across the skyscraper and noticing a turtle doing karate on the fucking roof?
He's got really good vision, but also
He's fucking blitzed.
what are the odds, too? By the way, that he sees
The
him.
same guy.
You know, New York's fucking massive.
He's like, look, it's that fucking Dead Kennedy's fucking fan.
Look
I
how
saw
sad
him
he
kick his
is.
shit out the other day.
Sad Chad.
It just
He's a
works, man.
sad panda.
How do they keep that kind of muscle tone up and eat pizza like 24/7? Ninja kicked the damn rabbit.
Because they have such high teeth, they're fucking coming like all the time. Fucking, they don't get no dates. They're probably fucking. Remember, the cartoon was the only time where they had like the female equivalent.
That was the
Avengers?
show, the Next Mutation, that live action Saban show.
They should have brought in. Oh, it was live action.
It was
Fuck.
Saban, yeah.
Yeah, well, I would love
It
to
was
see
Saw,
fucking them getting their fucking Stacy's on with some fucking hot ass Stacy's.
They even had
Their
cross mingling between them and Power Rangers. There's that whole episode
Oh, yeah, where
or
they
two or
meet each
three
other.
part. Yeah, they meet each other, and
And
it's
then they have,
so
like,
weird.
That's fucking stupid. I want to see them fuck female turtles. That's gay, Aaron. Fucking hanging out with the. That's just some stupid kid fantasy. I want to see them fuck.
Look, are you into cartoon rabbits or cartoon turtles? Make up your mind.
Both.
That was so
Both.
funny, man. I posted I posted that picture of somebody in a Lola Bunny cosplay, and I didn't realize Matt got a little offended. He's like, "Yeah, you be careful, man. Like, there's eyes on this.
Shh.
Like, what?" I
What a
thought it was,
beta.
first of all, it was towards Zach, and it wasn't even like lewd, but
You could just imagine. You can pretty much assume I've seen all that shit. Like I've already fucking probably jacked off to the picture. Yeah, like if you've
how deep do they go with that Lola porn on like Pornhub and stuff?
fucking, I'm right in the deep cockles of it. I'm bathing in the jism.
He's drowning in it. It's just
I
too
fucking
much.
I come like I save up my jism in the bathtub and I take a cum bath at least.
It kind of
once
looks
a
like
week.
the bathtub from Ghostbusters 2.
It's usually whenever I save up to jack off to my fucking Lola Bunny porn, and I just drown in my own fucking cum as I'm coming. Oh my god, it feels so good.
You know what's funny is you guys sound like Krang.
Doesn't he like do mean inhales? He's like those turtles.
Yeah, he has those weird.
I will get those turtles.
He's fucking pig squealing. He's like,
I think that's where they came up with
that goofy ass shit. That goofy ass shit.
fucking pig squeals.
Oh gosh.
We can blame that dude who does Krang for starting that.
No, you know where pig squeals came from. Fucking Ernest Scared Stupid.
Hell yeah.
I still have on my personal YouTube page that just has like videos from my travels and stuff going back like 10, 12 years.
A fellow fucker, eh?
A fellow fucker, eh? A fellow sister fucker, eh? I have these videos on my YouTube.
A fellow cucker. I hear you also like to cook.
Oh, you like cocks, huh? All right.
Ooh, I'm a cuck connoisseur, if you will.
Nuncucks.
Fucking like it's
Some nuncucks. They have dicks at the end of them. God damn. Hey, get some more Ben and Jerry's.
yeah.
What were you saying, Aaron? I like how you could see the thing spinning on his finger.
Yeah. Well, when I was a little kid too, I didn't realize that he was. I didn't realize he was spinning. When I was a little kid, I didn't realize he was spinning the chain on his finger. I didn't. Because his finger looks just like one of the fucking sticks of the thing. And so I'm like,
I was today years old when I found out he wasn't spinning he was spinning it with his finger.
Yeah, like
I was today years
What,
old.
really?
No, I've known it for a long time, but when I was a little kid, I thought he was just holding it and spinning it regular. I'm like, why is that so impressive? Keep practicing. I'm like, I don't get it. But now it makes more sense.
This kind of reminds me of the intro for number 2, where they're doing silly shit to him.
Yeah, a little bit. No, I was just saying I have this.
You know the studio wrote that on the fucking like forum, like got to have more hijinks while they're fighting
For the trailer.
for the kiddies.
for the trailer too. All this shit's in the trailer. You know.
Right.
No, yeah, this
shit.
screams of hey, give
You
us
know
this.
you had to watch it though when you saw it. You're like,
No, I'm talking about in the sequel.
Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, the sequel is right out of the gate.
well, they definitely had to.
Well, in the sequel, they couldn't use their weapons, man. Like, hey,
Exactly.
give them an excuse to use like.
That's why they didn't want to use Casey Jones either, because his parents were saying that he was a bully.
Like, hey, even though Michelangelo has nunchucks there, let's have him grab links, some cold cut links, and use those because it's funny. And you know what? Donatello uses that like Nerf thing or something stupid, and then they're going to.
No, that's Donatello.
Yeah, Donatello is what I meant to say. But I'm saying
They're all the same. They're all the same.
It's just like in the X-Men 90s cartoon where Wolverine would use his claws for anything else but on enemies. He would open up his claw to open up a soda can. He'd open up his claw to cut through a door. But as soon as like the bad guys came near him, he would retract them and then just throw them. And so Leonardo in that first scene of the second movie, he's got swords, but all he does is throw them in the ceiling to distract them, and he jumps up and he kicks them. Like, what the fuck is this? But in this movie, he uses them, man. You know, he slices
Right.
Shredder's arm with it, man. That's pretty cool.
Fucking Shredder's basically a can opener, like fucking you know, like you can just fucking.
He's the grinder.
You ever see that video of our boy King Cobra? Fucking like just a like hour long fucking like compilation of him trying to figure out how a can opener works.
No.
He's got hours and hours of footage of him trying to figure out how can openers work, and it's like I can't imagine not being able to figure out how a can opener works for this long. A genius, amazing.
He's a dummy. Oh, who's the babe?
Fucking why do they put that tape around their fucking stick?
Because it's badass.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Does it help them get a grip on it whenever they're doing
Get
that
a
little
grip.
motion? They're putting it in their
grip.
hand.
Exactly, it does.
like beating your fist into your other hand to show
Gives him
exertion.
more control.
I get the hockey mask looks cool, and he used to play professionally till he got hurt. But have you ever seen a goalie mask that actually looked like that?
Yeah.
They're
Never.
supposed to wrap around your whole head and shit.
They basically, that's what's so cool about making a pop culture icon with that, because you get to make that up too. You don't have to use the fucking generic ass looking version. It's like basically the part of your design is creating the hockey mask. It's pretty cool. Like kind of a smart thing to give somebody, really. Big Chads that made this movie, made these characters. Did you hear that? The noise that fucking foot soldier just.
It's also going to be really convenient here in a second how Casey Jones somehow is able to hear the message left by Charles saying she's fired. Like amongst
fucking
all this
funny,
fucking
though.
noise
They're all
and
fighting and it's
fire and yeah. I mean, he obviously
Yeah.
has to yell like "I'll cover you" so he can hear him, but he hears this clear as day. Look, he even stops. No one's attacking him. Let's give him a moment. To listen
Maybe
to that
he's
message.
part of Slipknot.
Look at that! Look at that! That big gang.
Oh
of
yeah,
ninja-
he does. He looks like fucking what's his name, Mick.
Mick Thompson. Yeah.
You can say that again, Mick.
Fucking big Chad moment in the movie.
Ninja
I'm
vanish.
gonna grab a drink.
Go do
I'm gonna
it.
grab a drink.
Well, Zach was on
So
fire.
here's where it starts getting super dark. Like I don't know, just after this scene when they leave and fucking go.
Well, we're going to the farm now. This is
it
where
just
you guys think
changes.
it's boring.
Yeah, it just gets really deep. I mean, it's not like
It gets somber.
it's not boring. It's just kind of like slow. But then I get it. You get it, like why they're doing it. But it's just weird.
I think it's a necessary contrast before.
It's more depressing, I guess. Like super depressing. Like,
But it's
kids wouldn't want this. Like what?
but it's cool to have that weird contrasting scene at the farm with all the daylight and the contrast right before we get to the third act where it's like dark again and
He's beating the fuck out of a fucking sweaty rat.
yeah, he's beat the shit out of.
Sweaty rat. Tell
No.
me where the turtles are, sweaty rat.
Zach wouldn't let me talk, but what I was saying is it's moments past. When I was in Japan, I have video footage. You guys were talking about pig squeals. I ran into these kids that had a local band in Tokyo, and you know they were really nice. And I was like, "Oh yeah, what's your music like?" And I got him on tape, like doing the vocals, and he's just doing the pig squeals. And I think it was the first time I really heard pig squeals. This is like 12 years ago, and I have a video, and I'm just dying laughing the whole time. And I was kind of laughing at them, but they were really nice because it wasn't music to my ears at all, but they were nice.
Right. But look how sweaty he is. Why?
Because he's all wet.
He's all sweat.
They were like, fucking, I love the way that fucking
Sweaty
rat looks when we
Patrick.
get it wet.
Sweaty.
The guy-
He's Patrick Swayze.
The guy that made the animatronic, he was like, fucking, yeah, you know what this fucking
He
thing
just
is?
does
This
not
is
have
like-
enough
maybe,
water on him.
Maybe he had a fetish, and he was just like, fucking, you know what always looks fucking hotter? When you get things wet.
I want to
So,
know.
yeah, fucking-
I want Tatsu to have a reality show. I kind of want to know where he goes when his shift at work is done at night. Does he have like a sweet penthouse apartment? Like, what is his incentive?
Nah,
for
dude. He's the fucking guard, too. He's the guard dog.
But what's his incentive of being so loyal to Shredder? Like, he obviously probably came back with him
Yeah,
from Japan.
why
but-
didn't they show his, like, what happened with him?
What if Shredder is just really good at
Like,
giving
you think
head?
that maybe
Yeah, that's
he
what I'm
was
saying,
fucking
like, do
about
they-
to die and Shredder saved his ass or some shit and he became his right-hand man?
Or is he like in love with them? Because he was obviously very upset that their mission got compromised to where he just came back to the base and he took it out on all his kids, right? Like, why is he that upset? What does Shredder do to him when he fails, you know? Does he make him take it in the ass?
Probably.
He's based and compelled on the Shredder.
He's based in turmoil. He's based in the sweat.
No one to go to
He's
Danny.
like, I'm gonna get the sweaty Swayze tonight.
Look at that bandana over his fucking. What does that mean? What did Cruisin say about that? The fucking bandana over the head, red bandana.
You're down to fuck, I guess. I don't know.
That means you like scat. You like getting shit on.
Oh, well, lovely.
Fucking, he's signaling to he's cruising for fucking
This is what we do.
he's cruising for our boy right here. He's trying to get some rat dick. He's trying to signal to him.
But isn't it weird? Is it me or does Splinter just look the best in this movie and he gets progressively worse? Like, they look better.
He does.
Everything looks better in this movie. I always want to live in that house though, and I've always wondered too, why is April behind on her Visa payment. Remember she made that joke? Am I behind on my Visa payment? Ha. Why is she behind on any credit cards when she inherited all this land? I get she said she doesn't have the heart to sell it or whatever because it was her family's, but that land's got to be worth a lot of money, man.
Fucking, she's a big Stacy. She knew she would need it just in case she ever comes across some big fucking mongoloid turtles living in the sewer someday.
Well, that house has to be 100 years old. It looks dilapidated, so I would fucking plow it down and build like a fight club or something. Build a new house.
A fight club?
Build a fight club.
Why would you build a fight club? What made you think of that?
So I can watch it 27 times or however many times Fred Durst watched it.
Oh, yeah. What would you build if you had a bunch of land and there was something to build, Mac?
I hope a house is what he...
If I had a bunch of or money or land.
If I had $1 million.
If I had $1 million. Okay.
If I had $1 million. Wait, I thought we were all
Oh,
doing
my God. My fucking
Doing our
God.
best
That was
Kermit
cringe.
impressions.
Kermit the Frog here. All right, so if I had the money and the land, I'd probably make the fucking mansion from Resident Evil.
Amazing.
Fucking all of it.
A life,
All
a
those
lifestyle
puzzles.
replica.
You'd have to do all those puzzles to get anywhere. And I'd put fucking like ravens in the room too. I'd fucking throw some snakes in a room.
You genetically modify a giant snake and put it in a
John
room.
Snake. And I'd name him
John
Steve
Snake.
Austin. 316, give him a hell yeah.
Okay. I wish I had a
You know
bunch
what?
of land. What?
You know what I'd do if I had $1 million?
Two chicks at the same time.
I'd do absolutely nothing.
Hell, man, my cousin does that. He doesn't. You don't need $1 million for that.
Just $1 million. $1 million. You can't afford to do nothing. You got to do something with it, or it's gonna be gone
It's
fast.
gonna have to be enough.
Nothing from nothing means nothing.
You gotta have something.
Oh, this was a great
Nothing.
scene when they're just going at it with fucking the alphabet.
Yeah, you
You
just
fucking walk around calling everyone gack breath, and they're like, "What the fuck? Well, this kid's silly. Look at him."
Hose brain.
basically like, bonding, like fucking, good joke, Casey. Fucking, we're all manly men here. We have working on cars, and then fucking all of a sudden, Casey pulls out his cock and slips.
Look,
it to him.
hold on.
Don't
I
tell him.
wonder. We should have been playing the game with them this whole time, seeing if we can top their lame ass fucking comebacks. For letter F, he came up with fungoid. I can think of like 5 million things that start with the letter F that are better.
Like vagina.
What would you have done for elf lips? What would you have done for E?
For E,
Yeah,
elephant cock
that's a compliment.
or elephant Titus,
Elephant fucker.
Fucking
Elf
elephant
fucker.
Titus face.
How about you just put fucker at the end of everything they did instead of elf
Yeah.
lips? You're an elf fucker.
I just call him I'm calling him Elf because they're probably shorter than me.
Gang bang,
Because I'm a big tall Chad all the time.
fucking elf. This part was kind of sexual, man. She's fucking giving
Was
him the
it?
fucking rub down, man, with that baby oil. That's not water. That's baby oil.
That wet
She's
ass
fucking waxing the fuck out of that turtle with that turtle wax.
that wet
So,
fucking shell.
Did April leave the
Dripping
room?
wet.
Did April leave the room and come back with her pen and pad and then tell him to hold that pose?
Right? Maybe like
You know what I mean?
yeah, it's fucking
And
weird.
You'll also notice.
She kept getting up.
No,
He's
hold
still
on.
there.
You'll also notice though that everybody else gets sort of a spotlight on her art, but they don't do. What is it? Michelangelo doesn't get no.
Yeah, where the fuck's Michelangelo?
His got cut. Like I think he has one, and I think I saw her doing like.
Michelangelo was circumcised?
Yeah. No, I think I might have learned this on like a Instagram live or something she was doing or YouTube or something. It was her, came out of her own mouth. But yeah, it's weird. And I think she's
Hey,
what?
Casey Jones, he's eating the fucking green apples. These are so good. Big
I don't,
Chad.
they're too sour for me. They're all right, but
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I like
The sourness is so good.
Honey Crisp.
Fucking lame-o.
Why would you even sit on that fucking piece of shit, man? It doesn't even look like it's gonna support you.
Because he's a big Chad.
Did you guys ever have like a
gives
porch
no
swing like that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like people have porch swings anymore.
I don't know how many swings I've had break on me.
But it,
You know what?
My kids' mom has one.
You know what he should have done before he ate that apple, though, was smoke weed out of it. Fucking like all the cool kids do.
Just hits it.
Got to do to get no food around here.
guy gotta
It's
do
okay.
to get it. To get fucked around
I'm
here.
okay.
What's the guy gotta do to shoot a little nut around here?
It's gonna be okay, Raph.
Leo.
Leo.
No.
Okay.
No.
Corky, what are you doing?
Fucking Leo.
Corky.
No.
Leo.
What happened to the water?
They barely had any in it.
Why do they even
She
put
was just-
water in there? Are they insinuating they're
Right,
turtles?
he's not sweaty anymore, and he was in there upside down.
I mean, is it like he's a turtle? He needs water. He needs
Yeah, what
sustenance.
the I didn't get it.
Here's the
Probably. Look, you can see the
here's
guy's
the mouth.
the guy's face.
Wait,
I can't believe they didn't notice this.
that's
You
what
should make the mouth so big for like the picture that it shows me and you in there, or like all three of us.
Isn't it funny that we haven't brought up Corey Feldman once?
Right. I was gonna
Fucking
talk
Corey.
about the voices. They had like fucking their voices stuck
See,
out.
look, that's Michelangelo.
Why'd they do that?
I don't know, because it takes away. It really makes no sense. I don't know why they did that.
What if they just couldn't get a convincing like
Maybe.
guttural scream like that? Stop, Mac. I have a good idea. Fucking, this is going to blow your minds. Fucking, I'm brain blasting here. They had a great fucking. They couldn't convince the fucking guy that plays Michelangelo to get a good guttural fucking voice like that. They ended up like fucking just like, dude, do it more scared. And he's just like fucking.
Hey Mac, you
very
remember in the
low-key.
cartoon? Hey Mac, you remember? I'm interrupting you because that's like you don't get to interrupt people, man. What
Exactly.
the fuck? Like, no, I'm talking here. You don't let people talk all the time, man. Do you guys remember in the cartoon
Fucking
though?
tell me what I do.
You remember in the cartoon when they would interrupt frames and all of a sudden Raphael would have like a fucking blue mask,
Look at that hat.
or Raphael would have Leonardo's voice. Like, what the fuck? Were they on a big time crunch? And they're just like, hey, Raphael is in the shitter. Cam Clark, just do his line real quick. No one will notice.
I think that Michelangelo scene screaming is actually from the future, from the back in the past. I think it's
Oh.
them showing you that he's going to be the last Ronin.
That
Mind-blown.
I would really look at that.
Mind-blown.
I don't think I noticed when I was a kid that he was using Leonardo's sword to cut the
You
veggies.
didn't?
When I was a little kid, I don't think
It
so.
looks like wood though when he's first doing it, like it's all wood,
Yeah, it looks a little
like
off.
a training sword.
Listen to these fucking beta cucks. I was just too busy noticing the hot piece of ass.
Guys, she's not wearing a bra. That's
we
what I
know,
used to notice as a
Stacey.
kid.
We know, man. We've been
Look, taking it by force like the real man he is.
That's almost like the lamest thing to notice that she's not wearing a bra. Like fucking, most people would just be like, look at her fucking. You can see her nipples. Like he notices it like as like the fucking like the salesman in him. Like fucking, I can sell her a bra almost. That's almost like what that rings to me, Aaron. You just wanted to sell her a bra.
I feel like this is a really sensual scene for a kid's movie. Like he's massaging, getting real down low into those titties.
turtle wax.
Hey guys, wait, what's he doing to her, man?
Mikey.
I always thought he said "Morning, Mikey."
No, me too. I did for the longest time.
That's hilarious. Fucking mind blown. Once again,
Is it possible he does and that the caption could be wrong?
it could be, but "Morning, Mikey."
Leonardo's trying to master the art
No,
of.
Here's
there-
some dank shit right here. He
there-
just said dank ass vape.
Leonardo's trying to master the art of hands-free coming by just jacking off with his thighs. There.
He succeeded.
Kind of like cock push-ups.
I always love who is.
I
that
thought
does-
so. Hold on. I thought he said something different there too. What Russian novel? I always thought he said, "What was the novel?" What was the novel?
We all think he is. We all think
Guys.
he's. Yeah. What if he's like? Yeah, we're all fucking dumb. We all pretend he's still here. We're all fucking. We're all
We all think
delusional.
a fucking big rat exists.
We all.
Well, we're fucking big turtles.
We're all pretending
Are
here.
we though?
I thought his beak looked really weird when he was
Look at right there.
his Raph's beak from a profile looked really weird when he said that. I hope you didn't bring us out here for nothing. It was like,
Donatello's was right just there before the scene.
Leonardo's gonna show them all how to master
Look.
the art of big cum. Where you jack
Dude, this
off
shit's
with,
deep. They all just took some shrooms. Now they're about to
Dude.
fucking microchip. Microchip.
no, they're going on an opiate trip.
Microdose.
No, he's gonna
Oh,
teach
those
him
are
how
some
to
dank
masturbate.
flames.
Hands-free cum.
It's like that scene from Young Guns when they go on that fucking spiritual trip.
This is some fucking Star Wars shit right here.
Obi-Wan.
See, if they if they put this movie out on Blu-ray now, they would change the actor to the fucking.
Anakin, the young. whatever his fucking face is.
Whatever the
Hayden
fuck-
Christensen. Hayden Christensen.
You should do that. You should fucking crop that in there.
That would be funny.
It would be
They gotta
perfect
change
for
him
the
to.
cover. Perfect for
No,
the
they-
cover.
They gotta change him to the CG version that played him in the fucking the CGI TMNT.
No, you gotta take this shot, and it's got to be the
Make it
thumbnail, and you
Anakin.
gotta put Hayden Christensen in the fire, and you gotta put us superimposed over with our like reaction faces over the.
Oh shit.
We gotta get them
Or we
clicks.
should be the turtles.
That's what I'm saying. Like put our faces on them or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
They all look like they're getting their dick
goofy.
sucked.
That's what I look like, especially Mike Leo right there.
Okay.
Oh, you guys.
Look how happy he is, man.
Now they're
He's
crying.
satisfied.
It was so good. They're fucking crying.
The sadness.
Never again.
Why didn't you go ahead and tell them that you're still alive, fucking Splinter? You fucking idiot.
So look at that, man. Look at that. See, all this stuff, Mikey's obviously taking it the hardest, and it's just,
Well, yeah.
yeah, I think
'Cause he's like he's the fucking child.
Don't you think Splinter would have told him that he's there? Is that just a hallucination that they all went on because they're tripping? Like fucking maybe
I think they hit too much of that turtle wag.
Maybe they just happen to get lucky and fucking Splinter's still
yeah,
alive.
you could interpret it that way, maybe. I don't think it necessarily means he was really materializing, because you'd think they would have asked him, hey, what the fuck? How'd you do that when they get him later? Like, how did you fucking use your Jedi mind powers?
So I always thought that it was nighttime then. Because that was dark, right? And now it's like
It's the next
starting to
day.
get dark.
It's the next day. The sun's coming up, man.
Hey, what exactly does Casey Jones hate when they do? And it was like, what did I tell you? I hate it when you guys do that. What? Get my attention and call my name? I don't understand. He didn't sneak up with him up to
Because
him.
he's trying to get some of that pussy, baby.
I guess so.
He's like, I'm tired of these fucking turtles.
There's always little things to find in movies you've seen a million times over. And I think it was just sometime in the last handful of times I've seen the movie in my adulthood where he says that line, like, you're a claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's
yeah,
fucking
like,
great.
I've never even looked at another man in my life.
What do you mean? I've never even looked at another man.
And like, I never, yeah.
Yeah, kid, you don't even think about it.
Well, I never even noticed it until, like I said, probably a couple years ago.
And then, like, they say that in a turtle movie? Wow.
We need the new one. We need the new one where he finally realizes he's gay and he fucking comes and like fucking.
Well-
you were the catalyst, by the way. You said that one time. You said you called me claustrophobic.
It's extra mind numbing because not only is he getting the term wrong, he's also getting the meaning wrong. He thinks he's saying homophobic, which means like, I don't know, like
Afraid
he's
of gays?
insinuating. Okay, you're calling me. He's already jumping to conclusions that, oh, you think I'm scared of gay people, so you must be calling me a gay guy. Like he's really just jumping over like three.
No. Well, he thinks that he's calling him a homo, like a homo.
Well, no,
Claustrophobic.
but claustrophobic, like homophobic. Who knows?
Homophobic.
Yeah, but he thinks he's calling him a homo. He's that stupid.
Why are we debating what he thought? This is a fucking joke.
We're in the ballpark. We're in the ballpark.
Because he says, I never so much as looked at another man.
That's what I'm saying. He's either he's either really stupid or
He thinks he's calling him a homo.
he probably doesn't even have his GED. Let's just
He doesn't.
leave it there.
He's just a fucking street punk.
He got hit in the head with a fucking hockey
Right
stick,
here.
I think.
I've never so much as looked at another.
See, he actually is.
You want a cock in the mouth?
See, what if fucking this whole time Casey Jones is literally just fucking highly regarded, and he's like fucking, he's not even a hockey player. He's just like fucking like
He's
this is
like
all
the
just-
no, he's like that Star Wars kid, that original viral video guy, just like playing with his lightsaber.
exactly. Fucking he just
go
found the
sleep in the
hockey
truck.
stick and the mask, and the fucking he just put it on. People just assumed he was a hockey player.
You want to sleep in the truck?
I think they should change it where there's like, he's saying, I want to sleep with a bunch of dudes. And he's like, then he says, you're homophobic. He says, I lost what I was going to say.
One.
Really fucking, I'm gone.
That fucking,
I could really go for some CP right about now.
Mac, what's your favorite flavor of Ben and Jerry's?
Chunky monkey.
Oh yeah,
Half baked, baby. I already told you.
look at that. They just had a pizza sitting around.
Penicillin.
They just had a pizza sitting around that's like got that many pieces. They forgot it was there. That ain't happening in my house, baby. Fucking,
I mean, it's Domino's. It tells you how much it's shit.
these guys are fucking rookies.
Fucking hate Domino's. I hate Papa John's.
We didn't even bring up how all the marketing was from Pizza Hut, but there's nothing but Domino's in the movie. Product placement.
Yeah, no, that's weird. I almost feel like something fell through or something. I don't.
It's probably because fucking the pizza they were gonna do it with Domino's, but then Pizza Hut was like, "Oh, we'll do it." And they're like, "Oh, they're the bigger brand. Fuck Domino's."
Wait, refresh my memory. Was it Pizza Hut? Is this one of those VHSs that had like a Pizza Hut ad at the start of it, or? Well, I mean, maybe that could be different altogether than them just paying money to have an ad before the movie.
They probably did all the branding at the stores too.
Pizza Hut. Well, I don't know if they did or not. I don't remember any of that personally. Pizza Hut had the deals with the games, right? The NES game that had Pizza Hut plastered all over the fucking walls and shit, of the levels and stuff. And I think the original Turtles 2 arcade game on NES came with a Pizza Hut coupon, like in when you bought it. I don't know. And then Family Home Entertainment, whenever you'd watch all the home video animated shows, it was Burger King. We're all over that shit.
Burger.
And I remember that's where I used to watch all those ads for the Burger King Kids Club, where they would have all the weird stereotypes as part of the gang, right? You had Wheels, the cripple kid. Come on, Wheels, and he was like shit that would not fly around today.
That like Crazy Legs.
And the tall black kid was named Hoops because he was great at basketball, I guess. Or cute games, because why not?
We just saw our boy Casey Jones follow fucking Danny to the hideout of the Shredder. Like, I always thought, like, why the fuck does Casey Jones give a shit? Like, that's not my kid. I ain't fucking getting paid to watch him. Fuck him. Like, I'm just going back to sleep.
Look, it justifies itself because he already cares enough to just stop random muggings in the park. Because he wants to fucking stop crime. I mean, whatever, it's as easy as that.
See, that goes back to the theory of him just being highly regarded this whole time. And he's just like, fucking, he's basically like an idiot savant. He's kind of like Forrest Gump. He's just in the right place at the right time. What if he's that character for the TMNT series?
I don't know, but I always wanted to hang out at this fucking hideout when I was a kid. They just had all the cool stuff. I didn't know how to skate, but I wanted to play on that fucking skate park shit they got going on. I wanted to play all those arcades.
They probably would have beat your ass if you would have wrecked.
I don't think I ever saw.
You want to get on the skate park, and then you'd fucking fall immediately, and then be like, I don't want to do that.
Probably, but I always wanted.
Elbow hurts.
But I always wanted to play.
I don't want to do this.
I never saw an actual arcade of Narc in my life, and I always wanted to play Narc because it had that sweet little shot of that little thing with the skull. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Sweet little shot in the mouth.
I want to make a fucking arcade cabinet of a video game, call it Nut. Fucking it's like fucking, it's hardcore, like it's fucking Nut.
Imato Yoshi.
Iroku.
I wonder why they took the liberties.
Dude, that could have been David Capper. Just fucking put a guitar in his hand and some beautiful women behind him. Big fucking Chad ass fucking motherfucker.
I wonder why they took the liberties they did with changing, Amato Yoshi to being the Splinter's master instead of the rat himself. Because I think even in the comics, it was like the cartoon where he was Hamato Yoshi. So I don't know why they changed this.
To make it, who knows? Yeah, it'd be interesting to get like why they decided to do that.
And maybe it's just one less confusing thing. Like, well, because I guess it doesn't make sense in the cartoon and shit because then the logic doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't get it. So does the ooze? Because the ooze will turn regular turtles into human turtles, but
I feel bad. I feel bad for him right there.
But the ooze will turn humans into animals and shit like that. It is kind of weird.
Fucking that shot of Splinter fucking going towards his Master Yoshi and looking all sad and touching his hand. Very, very sad. I keep thinking that shirt he's wearing is like for
you wear his symbol.
Bob Marley.
I keep thinking that shirt he's wearing is for Paradise Lost 2, fucking the documentary, but it's not. That wasn't even out yet.
Look at those Pepsis and Mountain Dews. Good marketing.
Spin that wheel. Is that Crate, the amplifier company?
This would be a perfect place for Snake.
Crate is fucking sponsoring the shows going on here.
Spin that wheel. You wear a symbol on your brow.
Take it off.
What are you doing here, boy?
Take off your clothes too.
Yeah, exactly.
Take it
Like there's no way this is not just a big fucking cover so he can fuck kids. You know what I mean? Like, why else would he just be? There's got to be some
Pick it
ulterior
up
motive. Here.
slowly.
And then all the pizza references in the movie.
Pizza. Yeah, I'm just saying. I feel like it would add a certain level of darkness if all this stuff was still going on, like they rob shit and. But what is it really? It's like Shredder just wants money. He's just like a petty crime lord. But what if like every night they just show that he has a new kid he chooses to come to his quarters and he just fucks him? You know what I mean? Like
He just pulls out condoms out of his pocket.
what? Because they're kind of
$20 bill.
Look, he's kind of like a cult, right? He adopts the lost and he accepts them into like a family. Everything about that first meeting we saw and the words and the verbiage he's using, it's very culty. So have you ever seen a single cult that didn't involve a lot of fucking sex? That's always been the root to every cult.
That's like the one cool thing about them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What else are they gonna do? There's a bunch of dudes there. They gotta release.
And the rat.
I mean, look at him. He looks so
Fuck
fucking
it.
pissed.
Yeah.
He looks so pissed because he's got a release.
See, he's sneaking into the locust now. He always wanted to fucking
that would have been hold on. That would have been a funny way to blow his cover, like, you know, because he went in there infiltrating, dressing as a foot soldier. If Shredder picked him, like, look at the ass on that one, Tatsu. I want him tonight. and they have to bring him back, and it's like a whole Final Fantasy VII thing where he's coming back to his quarters. And
Did they have to widen that manhole for him to fit in that? Is there really like one of those storm drain gutters that are that big for a human being
No,
to fit? Don't they
absolutely
make
not.
sure that can't happen?
yeah, and that's like can you imagine a little kid too at that? That was a grown man going through there.
Could have fell through it or something.
The same thing with It, man.
They all just run in there naked.
Tatsu, pull his pants down for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect me.
That's the
Yes,
one I
master.
want. Exactly, gross.
I like how that stopped everything and it just clears up that fast.
You think they would have been fucking freaking out? Like, God, this is hot. This is shit is fucking hot. Like, everybody should have been going nuts. I do hope there's more of them.
How the fuck do they even see out of those fucking little fly fucking eyeballs? It's
Oh,
dark
yeah,
as
they
fuck
look-
down there. You
they
should
look
hear
like
them
little
saying, "Where
Baxter
the
stop."
fuck are we?"
You're right, though. I wonder what
They
it
have
was
to be
like.
sweaty. They can't fucking breathe down there. There's no way.
They're gonna rape Splinter.
Who
my
are
turn,
you?
boy.
Who? I really want to know.
Okay.
I'm a sweaty rat.
I want to know about
Oh,
you.
yeah, friend.
You. What,
Oh, yeah.
you ever been a fan of the Who, Aaron?
That's what happens after one of them come.
Casual. Like, I've
Me too.
probably
too.
as much as Led Zeppelin, where it's like I've listened to all the Led Zeppelin records. I think they're all solid enough, but they're just a cherry pick band. Like, you know, I feel like listening to that song or that song's fun. I want to, you know, I don't play their shit and just let it run
Let that shit run.
down my legs, just like
Exactly.
what happened in real life on a time or two. That looks like it hurts.
Fucking just goes right through his skull.
Yeah.
They did a fucking unique the stick cam. They mounted the camera to the stick. Like, we're gonna see the stick's point of view.
Seriously though, how small dick energy is Tatsu? Where clearly the only things he can beat the shit out of are little kids because Casey Jones hands his ass to him.
Oh yeah.
Nice little kick to the face, like nice little punch to the face.
I don't think that you're listening.
So, what do you like? You guys remember the first time you saw this movie? Like, did you
Yeah.
watch it in the theater, Aaron?
You know I did. So I've said it a million times, and that's why I was extra hurt that I wasn't even considered when you guys did it without me on the Goat Show, because I've said it a million times, it's the first movie I ever saw in the cinema.
We're all stars now at the Go Show.
I was 4 years old, and we didn't have a lot. I never got to see. I think I only saw 2 movies in the theater when I was like a little kid because my parents never took us, and it cost too much money. It was this and Home Alone 2. But this was the first one I went. My mom couldn't deny me because I was so fucking huge into Ninja Turtles, and you know, I had to see it. And that's why I have the one sheet. Everything about this movie is special to me. It's a 10 out of 10. I love it. For me.
Hell yes.
And I don't remember, it's weird, you know, at 4 years old, that's the first year I really have memories. I don't have any memories at 3, I don't think. It's 4 is when I become cognizant. But even then, it's patchy in places. So even when I saw this movie, I don't remember everything. In particular, I remember the intro and I remember the whole Casey Jones scene. I remember sitting there watching those scenes in general.
Casey Jones was a big dick Chad as a kid, wasn't he?
I remember when I saw Home Alone 2, they
Shut the fuck all
oversold.
of you.
They oversold the theater for Home Alone 2, and we literally sat in the aisles. We sat on laps and shit and stuff, and they were just allowing oversold. It was that big. And my grandmother was bootlegging it. She would bring in her fucking big old ass shoulder fucking cannon. And she wasn't bootlegging, but she would just videotape them for us. And we'd go home and we'd love it. We'd wear out these like on videotape recorded versions of these movies. They probably sounded like shit. I wish I could go back in time and I wish I could find those tapes now and see how shitty they are.
Hell yeah! Whenever you were joining in on the StreamYards, did you remember to not set it to adjust the microphone automatically, baby?
I didn't do shit because you said you were going to do stuff. Wait,
It probably automatic. He probably
You
already
didn't
has,
even. You
it doesn't
probably
mess
didn't
with it.
even change your fucking camera to 720p then.
It's automatically stays that way if once you do it the first time.
Hopefully.
it's a different account. No, it's checked. Automatically adjust volume.
Uh-oh.
Well, turn it off, baby.
You should have reminded me, man. I don't know anything about the shit.
Fucking Boomer over here ruined the whole show.
Did I? Is it going to sound like ass?
It's just gonna be adjusting. Well, it's fine though.
Is it set to 720 as well?
Oh well, let's move on. Let's not.
No.
talk about it.
No. So I thought it's not going to matter because I thought you're going to put in the podcast audio, the Audacity recordings.
But it overrides the fucking Audacity, so it's fucking doing it on your Audacity too.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, man.
Oh well, we're watching the movie now. It's all out. It's all fucking in the past. We can't fix it. Let's live in the moment, guys.
Yeah,
this is a terrific film.
But let's start learning from our fucking lessons. Fuck. How many times are we going to let this shit happen?
1,000 bajillion.
I care about this movie, man. I wanted to redo it. I wanted it to go off without a hitch, and now it's going to fucking suck.
Fucking want to restart from the beginning.
Yes.
I'm fine doing it. I am high AF. I can sit here all night doing this movie. Mac might need to leave though.
No, I'm not going to fucking do it again. Dude, where the fuck?
You see their schlongs when they do that? It's so weird.
Mac was oddly quiet there. Fucking, he's making the moment amazing.
Where the fuck did he even come from? That's what I want to know.
Exactly.
Like, where did he jump from? Like another fucking building?
I just want to shoot my nuts all over his fucking helmet.
Like, that's what he looks like. This is the guy? This is the guy.
This is a good moment though, because like it brings you to the what's it called, the the culture of like fucking the cosplay. It's like if you don't know this, you're not into it. It's like it looks ridiculous to watch adults do this, but then if like you're into this shit, like these hot anime chicks with their big anime milkies really hits the spot. It's some cool shit fucking when you're into it. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Coleslaw.
You there, Aaron?
What the fuck? What did he just do?
Hello?
What's he doing?
Hello? What?
Hello? Why'd
Hello?
you leave and then come back?
No, nothing. It closed out of my video, just whatever, and I had to pull it back up.
Very low T. This is your big movie, though. It's fucking you're squandering it. You're squandering.
And I got
it.
shit audio. I gotta say, I gotta be a prima donna bitch, man. It drives me fucking up the wall. That's why I was making such a big deal about that last thing we were trying with Streamlabs. Is like the audio was sacrificed. We can't do it. I'll shit away all video in favor of audio, and it drives me fucking batty sometimes. I hate it if my audio doesn't sound like as it's one thing if we all sounded equal, but if somebody else sounds better, it just makes somebody else sound extra shitty and inconsistent. I hate it. I take pride in that. Fucking hate it.
Fucking, you're gonna sound so bad compared to us.
It's gonna-
Mac, listen to how he sounds compared to us right now. This finish.
I've heard it. No,
Laugh at
I'm
him.
gonna sound like Carol Ann talking to you from the fucking other side, like. Fucking hate that shit.
Here's where they have the big final epic
Yeah,
showdown.
here's the huge ending scene. Where we see these motherfuckers get rocked by the Shred.
Is that some like what's that called? Is that a snakeskin like a suit on Shredder?
It's like bullet. It looks like a.
You mean Kevlar? What are you
chains.
talking about?
Was that like snake? Like that weird the way snakeskin? It's like, and then it like changes color the way the fucking like the light hits it and shit. Fucking something like that. Very Chad. That's what I'm thinking of. Seeing his dank ass fucking threads.
I don't know what the fuck you just said, but she's special, man. I don't.
That's what I'm thinking about. Seeing his dank ass there.
Dude, he's fucking. It's getting really dark here. They're fucking crushing everyone. That's the same garbage truck from Child's Play 3.
You never notice his dank ass threads like fucking on Shredder?
It just looks like a bedazzled sparkle. I have the fucking toy back here. It's got the same shit on it.
That's like some fucking Prince.
He just has a
type
nice.
That's
clothing
yeah.
line.
It looks like he's Diana Ross or something. I know.
Fucking, that's some fucking Chad ass shit. That's what I'm saying.
Do
Who
you
made
like
that?
my outfit? It's glittery and sparkly.
Donatello was always like he cool. Something about Donatello.
It's because he gets
fucking-
baked and just chills out.
It
He's a
seems
fucking
like
nerd.
that.
He's the nerd of them all.
Like, you know what's weird? Like, I notice, like, whenever I'm baked, like, fucking, I understand, like, the computer and shit more. Like, I actually set up my editing, like, program to work fluid on my computer for the first time after years of, like, not knowing how to do it.
That's
And,
because
like,
you're not in a rush and it just calms you down to where you just fucking.
like, not realizing that, like, oh yeah, like, I have it set to not run on my RAM or whatever, my CPU or my GPU here. I could set it to that and it would be going way better. And I used to, like, edit all these videos and it used to, like, painstakingly take so much longer because, like, the fucking, just, like, the lag and shit. And, like, now it's, like, fucking, it's like a whole new universe. It's so crazy. It's a whole new world.
Hey, quick question, and I'll lay it to rest. I get it. It overrides Audacity, but you're saying my Audacity is going to sound like a shit even on the podcast like versions?
It's gonna be going up and down in the volume, just like the one we did for the last episode that I mentioned was like that too. Look at him.
It's
It's
It's Scarface.
The rat gave me this while we were fucking.
Hey, Ron's overthinking this and he's squandering his fucking big movie. He's squandering it.
I don't give a shit
This part's
anymore.
funny, like where it shows like the hand or whatever.
You can't see it in the widescreen version. You can't see it like you used to be on the full frame version. You could see like the harness that's holding up the whole puppet rig of fucking Shredder. It was very Chad.
Pretty dark.
And then like it was some point in the movie there.
Why did Splinter feel the need to catch that if it was nowhere near his head? It was going over his fucking shoulder.
He has a helmet on too. It would have just absorbed the blow. Fucking and the sharp edge on there. He could have just cut the stick in half.
What helmet are you talking about? I'm saying he dropped Shredder because he loosened his grip because he tried to throw that blade at him, and Splinter caught it, and he thus dropped him into the dumpster. But I don't know why Splinter felt like he had to catch it because it wasn't coming at his face. It was going like right next to him, and he just went like this.
Because it was just wanting to show you that he's a Chad.
I think he's a puppet, and they couldn't fucking do that. I think that's what they're
I
trying
think you're
to.
wrong. I think you're wrong.
So you think Shredder actually fell in there or just his helmet? Or maybe he crawled out?
I think he fell in there. He got crushed, and it's a stupid movie, and they're just like, hey, he didn't die in the second one. He survived that somehow.
He fucking got smeared all over, but somehow survived.
He hit the windshield like a big
His
fucking
can
bug going real
opener
fast.
stopped it.
I mean, he's in there. I buy that his helmet probably fell off on impact, but I think the rest of him is in there.
Would you buy that he gives great helmet?
I believe it.
That fucking helmet got crushed.
Maybe he was up more inside of it.
How did he even get this in any kind of quality in the second one? Like, they just show him, like, you know, repairing it and putting new blades on, and he's got duct tape around it. Like, that thing got smashed.
Got smashed.
He cut it open. He cut it up and then bent it back. Fucking sawed that.
Look, he's so worried about Danny. Fucking. You know, if they remade this movie, Danny Brown could play fucking Danny.
Danny Bonaducci.
Danny Brown.
Seth Green could be Danny.
Fucking all these people playing him at the same time.
Seth Green.
Fucking they're just rotating.
Fucking Danny. Remember when Seth Green played Danny?
That was good. So what, like, where does this rank on your overall movies, Aaron? You give this a 10 out of 10?
Yeah, I've already said that. I'm pissed about the audio. Next. Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I've already explained that. I'm not going to like repeat myself.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10.
Personally, for me, it's a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10.5 for me.
I think I think as far as doing what they were aiming to do, like, hey, we're taking this property and we're going to somehow marry a kids movie while also kind of making it gritty and kind of for adults. I think they perfected it.
Yeah, this is the perfect way for the Turtles to be.
You know what I think? I think this movie is a solid 7 out of 10.
I think you're.
That's really where I am with it. And that's always kind of.
I think you fuck your sister, but that's fine. I don't judge you on that either.
What do you give the second one?
I always liked it though.
You always liked fucking your sister?
Fucking hell yes. That's the greatest thing to do.
Yeah, when you spill out of her.
Easy.
What would you give the second movie, Zach?
The second one's a 6.
A 6?
Probably 6. Probably 6.
Damn. That's another 10 out of 10 for me. Classic.
Mac is he's got the most childlike fucking love for these kid movies.
I was watching the second one almost just as young. I watched it as soon as it came out. I had the VHS as soon as it came out. We watched it probably just as much as this movie.
The 10 out of the 10.
But there's just, as I grow older, I see it more for what it is. It's just, it doesn't age as well. I still like it. I can watch it.
No, the third one, when you watch it, you just try not to turn it off. It's so hard.
She has no power. Yeah, I know.
I love that seam on his neck. Look at that. Just want to fucking. I just want to neck with it. I just want to neck it. What's that? Remember that when the fucking the old people would say they were necking? They were necking in the fucking in their car. I just want to neck with fucking Leonardo. Just want to neck with him. I want to rub my neck on it.
That sounds like it could be a sex move today, like for throat fucking or something.
It's neck toys.
Neck someone.
They were necking.
Look how pissed Raphael looks, and then he shows his teeth. That was funny. Huh? Wicked!
Do you want the LA power? Do you want the LA
You sound just
power?
like it.
Do you want the LA power? Yeah. He sounds like somebody with like...
This is some fucking shit. See, this is kind of like a perfect soundtrack for this, because it's kind of like the Space Jam soundtrack for Space
It's a good soundtrack. I listen to the soundtrack from time to time. It's on Spotify. It's a lot of fun.
It's got a lot of fucking groovy tunes, and it's like... it doesn't match, but it doesn't fucking matter.
I just realized I wore my mask for most of the show, and I didn't mean to.
Call April O'Neil. Fuck. I'm coming. On the double.
No, and then this guy done fucks up, and he says Raphael's the leader.
Oh, what a Chad. See, he knew what it really was.
Yeah, he knew what it was.
That wasn't a fuck up. That was a red pill moment.
Yeah,
no
I don't think it got a...
Peter and fucking what's his name are like, why didn't we go with that route?
I'm sure he saw the movie and they're like, hey, write a song for the movie, or they kind of gave him the general idea or whatever. He somehow interpreted Raphael. He's the star for sure.
Dude.
They center on Raphael.
They say that Leo like calms them all down, but it's really Michelangelo that calms everyone down.
They hired a guy who knew the series, and he was dropping in a red pill moment, and fucking wasn't gonna fucking change it for nobody. My artistic integrity.
Michelangelo's the baby of the group. That's why Splinter.
My artistic integrity demands. See, Corey Feldman got his own little credit there.
Hold on.
Corey Feldman.
Did you see Tatsu's name, the actor?
I haven't.
I've always assumed he couldn't speak English because his voice is incredibly dubbed. And if you watch him in Showdown in Little Tokyo, where he plays again sort of the main henchman to the bad guy, Cary Tagawa, he's not dubbed, and you can tell it's his real voice, and it's terrible. Like he doesn't sound like he speaks. He's like, here, 1, 2, 3, you. It sounds real bad. Like God, he can't. But his name was Michael McGonaghy.
He sounded just like Gage.
He's the most whitest Asian ever.
He sounded just like Gage and Pet Sematary. Now I want to play with you.
He really did. 1, 2, 3, you. He did that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna make sure I wasn't seeing that wrong. I'm gonna look up his name. Tatsu, TMNT actor.
Wouldn't that be funny if we made a movie?
Heroes on the half shell.
Wouldn't that be funny if we made a movie that told the story of the behind the scenes, like inner workings of making Pet Sematary, and we made that scene, and we just made it like, oh, it was all a misunderstanding. The lady who told him who he was doing the line reading with was like a big. She was all into the kawaii, that fucking like the Japanese like fucking anime shit, and that's just how she. No, do it more like this. Yeah.
Hold on. You know what's fucked up? okay, so on the main cast, it only had like fucking 6 people. It's a small principal cast. It said Tatsu played by Michael McConaughey, whatever, a really white name. But to add credence to what I was saying, that he played the voice because the real guy could not speak a lick of English. The real actor is Toshishiro Obata, but they didn't have his fucking name on there. To me, he played him. You know what I mean?
I'm not even listening to you. I'm fucking vibing to this dank ass fucking rap.
But I'm saying
About
they
the
didn't
TMNT.
they didn't even give that guy fucking props, man.
Exactly. That's what you do when you don't fucking know, when you got a big concrete cock, I guess. Just fucking we give it to who we wants to give it to.
So Toshishiro Obata, he's just a real life, I guess he's not really an actor, he's a real life Japanese swordsman
Hell
and
yeah.
martial artist. And they got the guy Michael McConaughey or whatever played his voice in the second one too. Like, hey, play a stereotypical Asian guy.
McConaughey?
Yeah.
what?
He was just calling him Michael McConaughey. He doesn't have that real name.
What?
Mag is fucking.
No, his name.
I
No,
thought
the
you
guy who
said
played
Matthew McConaughey.
Michael McConaughey is the guy that plays Tatsu's voice, and that's the only person that gets credit for the character on these credits. It's fucked up. Kicking an Asian man down. I love
He
this.
didn't want to be named.
He walks behind the rows. Basically, that's him. He's the guy.
Maybe he was a stuntman.
Maybe. So when are we gonna redo the other 2 turtle movies?
Fucking right now, I'm ready.
No, not me.
All nighter.
Beta.
Anyway, are we gonna sit through the whole credits?
We should.
Okay,
Aaron acts like he is angry at the commentary now. Like
I'm very upset. I hate it. I hate it when shit doesn't go as planned. I hate it when something happens. And what's worse is it always happens to me. Always to me.
It doesn't always happen to you. I feel it all the time too. I do too.
That's what Zach gave the movie, a 9.95.
Fucking stupid.
Exactly. Tortoise beats hair. So, Chad.
Party.
Special thanks to Burger King. I didn't see any Burger King in this movie. Did you?
I think it might have been during the critter scene.
So
Or
are
maybe
you angry?
maybe they were eating Burger
Critters.
King at the hideout or something. The kids.
Critters.
What?
Oh yeah.
But there was no obvious product placement to my eyes. What do you ask me, Zach?
Fuck it, I was gonna ask if you're angry enough to want to redo this, or fucking if it's good.
Angry
If
enough
it's
to
in
do the
bag.
second one.
I don't know how fucking bad it's gonna sound.
Fucking, it won't sound that bad. It's something that probably I'm the only one that'll notice. That's funny. That's funny. It's something I ultimately could be the only one that notices, and it tripped you up this much.
No, I've noticed it. We've had those episodes where it happens before when that shit was on Skype, and I don't know if it's gonna be the same function as the way it does on Skype. But Skype, like I said, it makes you sound like Carol Ann talking to you from the fucking other side of the TV.
It's not gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like Skype. It's just like it's still recording from your microphone. It's just like it keeps fucking going up and down, and it makes you sound like fucking it just makes you sound a little weird, and it takes out some of the. It's just lame shit. It's just lame.
Yeah,
shit.
that sounds fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make you feel better at all. Like, oh, it's not gonna be that. It's just gonna make you sound weird.
It's not gonna make you sound terrible. It's just gonna make you sound weird.
Yeah, great. Anyway, the movie's fucking
And I
over.
can't fix your actual voice anyway, so that's already on you.
Great. The movie's over. I'm done. I fucking need to go do something else now because I'm done with this shit.
I'm probably gonna watch iCarly and jack off.
All right. You're weird, man. Why?
You know, it's funny. It's funny because I can say that now, and it's like,
But why
now it doesn't sound gross.
Why, you legit watched that entire series and you're a fucking 30-year-old man.
I'm talking about the remake episode.
I know, and it's still weird. I think it's weird even for the remake. Like, it's one thing to watch it for a few frames so you can jack off to whatever face's name, I guess. But you actually sat and watched the whole series. It's fucking awkward.
It's only when I'm high though. I haven't been sober watching it yet.
He probably has pulled it out. He's like,
Oh, I know he has.
he's got the fleshlight out.
Oh,
Randy
that-
Costner was a big Stacey.
I
is
miss
that
you
your
on-
move? No,
I
hey,
miss you on Drake and Josh.
hold on. Yeah, I miss when you looked like that. Oh god.
That's what's so funny is I never thought she was like it was
She was
like
not.
fuck-
What do you mean?
I thought she was hot now, like
Yeah,
fucking
she
in a
is.
new
Like,
show.
she was annoying as fuck back in the day too.
Weird.
Fucking in School of Rock, she's fucking annoying. Drake and Josh, she's annoying.
Fucking School Rock is a great film when you do it.
Good one.
It's at least a 9 out of 10.
Anyway, all right, show's over. Thank you. Hopefully, we didn't fuck this up redoing this fucking movie. I fucking hate that, man. I hate it, but I don't even want to like pitch shit. Is there a Mac and Zach out you guys want to talk about?
Fucking check out the Halloween Tree video commentary coming at you live, all up in your fucking pussy and your fucking assholes.
And there's also a little clip, a little fucking 18-minute clip on YouTube.
You can watch the highlights video trying to fucking bring in the normies. We're trying to get normies
so
to
funny
land on our videos now.
Is that what you wanted to talk about? Didn't you say you wanted to address or talk about something with the future or whatever?
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the thing is we should this new idea we've been doing, like, fucking these bucket list movies, these movies that like we should just make that all the time. That should just, I feel like that's what we should be laying out. Because the thing is like I mentioned it one time before. It's like fucking we're at the point now where it's like we notice, like even if you look over at all the stack of movies you have, it's like I probably couldn't watch all these like before my life ended, because like just the way you think of like how you only have so much time to watch a movie, and
you're wasting that time doing these commentaries when you could be using it to two birds, one stone. I get it.
Well, I'm saying, like, yeah, fucking, we should only pick movies, like, maybe not only pick, but pick movies and put an emphasis on the ones that, like, we feel like some kind of emotional or nostalgic connection to. It doesn't have to be like we love the movie.
So you don't have to wait. So you don't have to waste time watching a movie to prep for you don't want to watch. Is that what it is? You
no, because
watch
I'm still gonna do that. I'm saying, like, because I think it brings out a genuine quality in the show whenever, and people can see that.
I thought that's what we did already. Watch the movies we want.
We don't. Sometimes we don't.
That's you and Matt, you and Zach. I think. Well, BTM though, we watch a lot of shit, man. We watch good stuff. We watch terrible shit. We watch a lot of recommendations and requests that are just.
I mean, I haven't really. I used to watch movies I've never seen before.
We would go through like oh, we're doing a month of this. So then it wasn't like we're picking movies that were
arbitrary.
It was just like, oh, we got to find something to fit the quota. And like sometimes it's like, that's a movie I've never even heard of. And this is like,
what's a Charles Grodin movie that doesn't co-star a dog or a Muppet? Let's scramble. Yeah,
but that was just an idea I had. I think the genuine, like the feels comes out in the shows when we do them, and I think people would be like, that's something people pick up on, and
let's just do it for a while. Then just do it till it makes you content.
People can still give us like fucking recommendations of movies to pick, but it's like we're not just gonna be like, okay, we're setting it for like fucking Monday, we're gonna record it. It's like we'll watch recommendations on our own time, and then if we like it enough to like want to do it on the show, it all makes sense, baby. It all makes sense if you think about it. It all makes sense.
Oh, I'm fine with whatever.
I thought you were talking about like doing like funny little skits too, or not skits, but during the movie, just talk funny shit the whole time.
You were on a completely different wavelength than I am, Mac. But like that too, we will do that too.
Anyway, nicely put. I'm done. Pissed.
Stick a cock in you. You're done.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't even want to look. We got shit to promote. Just look in the video. It's like all below in the description. What?
You know what we should do for the next one coming up is we all talked about doing Arachnophobia all together. That'd be Chad.
Yeah, that could be fun. I haven't watched that in a hot minute either, so I've been wanting to rewatch it actually because it's streaming. I think on HBO Max.
To watch that.
There you go. Maybe I'll watch it tonight actually now that it's fresh in mind. But yeah, so we'll do that. I'm not going to go on a long spiel about what we have to pitch. Just whatever. Support us. Like the video, please. Fucking subscribe. All that bullshit. Buy a t-shirt. We got a Teespring. $2. Support us on Patreon. Get